Hey guys, it's Marie Antoinette here for your Mental Health Mondays, and tonight I'm talking about feelings. And I'm talking about this because it is a source of distress for a lot of people. So the questions that I've posted in this post are: do you avoid your feelings? Do you know that feeling your feelings is actually healing? And just some questions to ponder about that, because often we avoid our feelings, and that's because with human behavior we have a pleasure center in our brain, and as human beings we actually seek to avoid any kind of pain. Now when we're seeking to avoid things like this, usually it's because we term some of our feelings and we can judge them. So the question in the post is, do you judge your feelings as good or bad? So we tend to, as a society, see feelings such as sadness, anger, grief, resentment as negative emotions, and the other things like passion and happiness and joy and excitement as positive emotions. Hi, Justine. And so sometimes when we're judging these emotions, we actually lose the experience of what these feelings are showing us. So if we're able to stand back and observe our feelings and just go, oh, okay, so that's interesting, I'm observing this, we take the attachment out of it, because it's important to feel things. I'll give you an example about grief. So if somebody close to us passes away, there's often a misconception that, let's say there's a person that's crying a lot, often people will look at that person and go, oh, they're really not coping, as opposed to somebody who isn't showing any emotion. And it's actually the opposite. The person who is expressing that sadness through their tear ducts, that's why we have them, is actually allowing that energy, because feelings are emotions and they're all energy, to go through the body. They're actually going to be able to deal with that grief a lot quicker than with someone who's not feeling it. I mean, think about this. We often do this. I even do this occasionally. Not so much as I used to, but often when we start crying, we go, oh, I'm really sorry. We start apologizing for our sadness. The reality is that emotions are energy and they need to flow. When they're constricted, it causes issues and it causes blocks in our body. It causes, things like blocked anger is really resentment. It builds into a resentment because we're not expressing it. And people may say that anger's really bad. Anger's not bad at all. It's just the way in which we express our emotions can be negative. Our emotions themselves are not negative or positive. So from a soul perspective, a lot of people will say to me, I learnt things the hard way. I had to do this and I learnt it the hard way. My saying is, you learnt it the only way, because we learn through experience. Like, how many times have we had experiences that we go, oh, I won't do that again because I experienced that. That's how we learn. As children, we might touch something that our parents told us not to. We might touch a hot plate, and then we soon learn from that burn that, okay, well, I'm not going to do that again. So we just learn through experience, really, and the quickest way through something is actually through it rather than to avoid it. And there's a number of different ways that we avoid our feelings. We can do it, well, basically by avoiding it, not talking about it, not feeling it, not expressing it, shutting it down, pushing it down, eating it away, drinking it away, drugging it away, sexing it away. There's so many different things that we can do to distract ourselves from feeling things, and then it generally tends to come back. It comes back when we've found quiet spaces, or it comes back when we get triggered by others into these really deep places of pain, and it just, because it seeks to be healed. So feelings are meant to be felt. I have a really humorous memory of a therapist I used to work with, and I remember this time very specifically because I rang her up and I just said, look, I'm really, really depressed. And she said, I had to do her accent, she said, say hello to your depression. And I was like, what? And what she was teaching me is that there was nothing to do except to embrace it, to just say hello to it. Okay, yeah, I'm depressed. I've got some feelings of depression and sadness. Well, there's nothing to do with that but to feel it sometimes. And sometimes we just need to go through things. But there's other ways that we may avoid our feelings too, and that might be by denying it in the first place. So there's denial as well, but there's also we push our feelings onto others, so we project those onto others. It's a really interesting thing. You know, you may have had somebody say to you, are you feeling this? Or I think you're feeling this, and you're not feeling it. It's usually because they're feeling it, but they're projecting it onto you. So I want to challenge people this week and have people think about this, because it is a source of great pain when we find ourselves in these so-called negative emotions, and judge ourselves for them as well. So sometimes when we're feeling down or anxious, we can be really hard on ourselves. But our emotions are signals. Our emotions are actually our internal navigation system. They help guide us and show us what's going on. So, for example, if, you know, like a physical boundary, if somebody's standing too close to us, we get a little bit agitated. That's our internal system going, warning, warning, you're standing too close. You know, if we get angry, it's usually because somebody's crossed a boundary emotionally as well. If we get sad, it might be to do with a loss of something, a loss of a friend, loved one, or a pet. It can be loss of a job, it could be anything. But the quickest way through it, once again, is actually to actually feel it and go through it, and it's okay. You know, it's interesting, you know, we all, I won't say we all, it's a generalisation, but a lot of us as a society, we avoid other people's emotions too. We become really uncomfortable. And as a therapist, and knowing that the way of healing is through feeling, I actually get, you know, a warm fuzzy feeling when people are experiencing emotions, because I know they're healing. You know, I see other people around the room get really uncomfortable, pass the tissues, tell them it's going to be all right, and comfort them. And I'm just really happy to support them in that place, and it's okay. You know, the best thing you can do for someone who's in a lot of pain is just to be with them. There's nothing to say, there's nothing to fix, just being. You know, like we've become human doings, but just being is really, really important. So thanks guys for joining in this evening. If you have any questions about this video, or you want to chat a bit further, I'm welcome to reply to your messages. If you want to know more about my programs or anything like that, please private message me, and please take these messages on board. If they resonate with you, please comment, let me know what you thought, and please share this video if you think somebody else is going to benefit from it. So happy Mental Health Monday, and enjoy your week. Bye.